Okay, so today we're going to do the metric and the US units. We're going to learn the advantages of using the metric system, the basics using the metric system, the conversions with the metric system. We're going to be determining length, area, volume, and temperature, and dimensional analysis and converting to and from the metric system. Okay, I did want to let you guys know that in the metric system, the common use in length is meters. The common use of unit in mass will be gram. Also, the common use measure for liquid is liter. I don't know if you guys can see that, it's in the blue. And the common use to measure temperature is Celsius. And what is our degrees? What do we measure by?
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit, yes. Anybody need a minute to write that down? Okay. This part is just, FYI for your information. Okay, now here are the procedure. I like to do things by steps. So if we're going to change a smaller unit to a larger one, like moving from meters to kilometers, you move the decimal point from the original place and move it to the left. Move from a small one to a larger one. Move it to the left to the larger to obtain the. Then also to move to. This is to move to a smaller one, sorry. Smaller one, you move to the left. If you're going to the larger unit, to a smaller, from a larger one to a smaller one, we would move the decimal place from the original to the right. Maybe move to the right. Until you obtain the desired unit measurement. Not sure if you guys have heard about this, but I like to do the metric system by the story of King Henry. Have you guys heard about that? So, King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. So, K is kilo, H is hecto, D is deca, U is the unit, D is for deci, C is for centi, and M is for milli. You can also use the table that Alex provides for you. Now, if you've had Miss Phillips, she likes to go by Karen has dandruff but doesn't care much. But I like King Henry. I think King Henry's easier to remember. Anybody need another minute? Write this down. Everybody need another minute? Okay, everybody good, okay. So let's look at example 1. We're going to be solving a one-step word problem using the formula D equals RT. Example 1. So Austin is going to go for a walk, and he walks at the speed of 2 miles per hour for 3.2 miles. For how many hours did he walk? For how many hours did he walk? Did you guys ever get a problem like this on Alex? Yeah?
Yeah, when I did my knowledge.
Okay. So you could set this up as a proportion. So what I was going to put is miles over hours equals miles to hours. So he walked 2 miles per hour, which means 1, right? And for 3.2 miles, and we don't know for how many hours, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do the cross multiply, and that will give me a 2x, right? That's 2 times x. And then we're gonna get a 3.2. Then we divide by 2. And x gives me 1.6 hours. Which makes sense. If he can walk 2 miles in 1 hour, then in 3.2 miles, he can walk it in 1.6 hours. Does that make sense? I tried to look at Alice's explanation and I think I did it more simple. Example 2. Here are some facts. So you should have had problems like this on there. So we got to, here are some facts, and it gives you this. We can do this. Now let me show you, not sure if you guys have ever seen this, but I like to call it the picket fence. So if I have 21 feet over 1 times how many yards? Okay, so we have, so which one would we be using? Feet to yards, right? This one, right? So I'm going to put feet on the bottom, 3 feet, and 1 yard on top. Why do I do that? Because I'm wanting yards, right? Because my problem is 21 feet equals box yards, right? That's the problem. So what I'm going to do is I cross this out. That leaves me with feet only. That would be 1 times 21 is 21, over 1 times 3 is 3, which equals what, 7 yards, right? Because I'm looking for that. So the answer is 7. You can also look at this and say, you can take 21, divided by 3 is 7.
So why am I on Alex, you have like a whole bunch of those? Like you go from feet to miles, miles to yards, you know, you have to go like that. So do you always put the one that you're looking for on top?
You always put what you, on top here, what you start with.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the next one, like what
Yes.
you're looking for.
Yeah, you always have it on top, what you're
Okay.
looking for. Yes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now let's do the 48. The 48 inches over 1. And we're going to change it to feet, right? So that means I need inches on the bottom and feet on top, okay? So it means I'm going to put a 12 here and a 1 here, right? This is so I can cancel out my inches and just go away. So then that leaves me with 48, right, over 12 feet, which simplifies to 4 feet. Or you can also look at this and say, okay, this one, and you would say 48 divided by 12 is 4. But sometimes I like to do it this way to make sure. I call it the picket fence. Okay, conversions. This we're going to do example 3. We're going to be doing a conversions involving measurements in feet and inches. Example 3. Okay. So the board is 7 feet and 7 inches. How long is it in inches? Well, what I would do is I would just say 7 times 12 plus 7, right? Because this right here, I'm changing feet to inches, then adding on the additional inches. Which will give me, what is that, like 84? 84 plus 7 is 91 inches. That's it. Those should be really easy. Okay, we have example 4 here. We have a U.S. customary length conversions involving rounding decimals. So, archaeologists, I believe I said that right, found a fossil that has a length of 489.44 inches. Use the facts to find the length of the fossil in feet. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. This is example 4. So I have 4, 8, 9, 44. And we are going to convert it, it's over 1. We need to convert it to feet, right? So we need the inches on the bottom, and we need feet on top, right? Because the reason I do that is so my inches go away. So how many inches is in a foot? 12. See, that first one helps. 12 and 1 here. Cancel this out. Then you get your handy dandy calculator, which I don't have out right now. And you get it out. Okay, clear, okay. So 489.44 divided by 12, and you get, and then once it rounded to the nearest 10, the nearest 10 will be the first decimal place, so it looks like it'll be you guys get a 40.8 feet. 40.8 feet. Okay, and this is, I just want to show you, this is just to show you the chart. This is just showing you about the lengths, the weight, the capacity, and time. I just want to show you that. Just FYI for your information. Okay, let's go to example 5. Word problem involving the U.S. customary length conversion. So Keith cycled 8 laps on the bicycle path surrounding a lake. Each lap was the same length. If he cycled a total of 26.4 miles, what was the length of each lap? What was the length of each lap? And you had to put it in feet. So the first thing I would do, I'm going to go ahead, since you guys already got this down, I'm going to erase this, okay? Example 5. So I get 26.4 miles. I'm going to convert that. First thing I'm going to convert it to, because it said it wanted it in feet, I'm going to convert these miles into feet first. So which one of these will be the most helpful? Which one of these? This one?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to put 1 mile on the bottom, right? 1 mile here, and I'm put 5 to 80 feet at the top, right? Because I want feet. Cancel that out, cancel that out. That equals, well, we're not going to have it over 1 because So it's 26.4 times 5280. Okay, I get 139,392. By the way, that's supposed to be a 9. That's much better, okay. Now, that's how many feet, right? Now we want to find out what is the length of each lap. So now what do we do? Divide by 8, yes. So divide by 8 equals that many feet, so 392 divided by 8. Or you get
17,400 and what?
24.
feet per lap. Right? Okay. Questions over that? So I'm going to tell you this little story. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this story about King Gallon. Okay, once upon a time there was a Gallon castle. In the Gallon castle there were 4 queens, as you see here, 4 queens. And each queen had a prince and princess. Each prince and princess has 2 cats. How many cats lived in the castle? So as you see here, there are 2 cups to a pint, there's 2 pints to a quart, there's 4 quarts to a gallon, and that's my story and I'm sticking to it. And also, those cats don't have 9 lives, they have 8. Do you know why they have 8? There's 8 ounces in a cup. See, it all works. They teach us in elementary school, so when I seen it, I was like, how neat. I always like tricks. I just thought I'd show you that one. Okay, now is this something that you was having trouble with?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What you need to do is you grab, what is it called? Drag and drop.
Yes.
Is that what it's called? I knew it was a D&D. So what we need to do is we need to put a mile on the bottom and yard on top. So which one of those puts a mile on the bottom? Well, let's look at these. Well, we got two of them with the miles on the bottom,
What do
right?
we need on top?
But we need a yard on top.
What's that one?
So we take this one and you drag it over. Okay? So when you drag it over, example 6, let's say I did drag it over, okay? So I have 0.15 miles over 1 times that, I wanted that first one. So I wanted 1 mile here, and I wanted the 1,760 yards here, right? So then that makes my miles go away, the MI. Sorry I didn't put the I with it. Cancel it out, right? So then that leaves me with, I take a 0.15, you just multiply across. You just kind of think of this as like a fraction. Fraction times fraction, you multiply the numerator and then multiply your denominator. So 0.15 times 1760, and I get 264 yards. And yes, that's over 1, but 264 over 1 is just 264. Does that make sense of which one to draw? It kind of goes along with my picket fence. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Questions over that?
So if it's asking a question for miles and it wants a yard for the answer, I put miles on the bottom and yard on top.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly. I actually had someone come in to tutor and didn't even know how to do that. And I showed them this. Oh, wow, you make it so easy. I said, I know, right? Okay. Example 7, here we go. So we are doing a word problem involving U.S. customary length conversions using dimensional analysis. Okay, we have an artist who is hired to create an art display for the interior of a city building. The display is to span a total width of 14 yards the artist decided to cover this space with equally sized portraits placed side by side in a horizontal line with no gaps. Each portrait has a width of 42 inches. So how many portraits will be used in the display? So fill in the blanks. Okay. Obviously I cut it off down here, but you know. So what we're going to do is we're going to change those yards. We're going to change the yards to inches.
No.
So we have we have 14 yards, right?
Yeah.
14 yards. Now before I can change it to inches, let's change that to feet. So how many feet is in a yard?
How many feet? 3 feet
Three.
a yard?
So we put 1 yard here, right, and 3 feet here. That makes my yards go up, now I'm down to feet. But is that where I need to be? I
No.
need inches. So let's do another one. So when you put feet here, and we put feet here, and we put inches here. So how many inches is in a foot? 12. So we put 1 here, and you put 12 here. So then that goes away. Now is that what I need? Yes, it is. So when we multiply across, so what is, let's clear that off, 14 times 3 times 12, and I get 504 inches. So we found out how many inches the total width of the, okay, so then, when we have that, now we need to find out how many portraits. So each portrait has a width of 42. So what do we do with this number? Divide by 42, right? Inches. So I take that number divided by 42, I get 12 portraits. Did I spell that right? Yep, that was right. Okay. Does that make sense? So I went from yards to feet, then I looked and I said, well, we need inches. So we need to go one more time, and we need to change it to inches. And we got inches, that was for the total, I guess it's a wall, that's what I'm figuring, it's like a wall. And then I said, this is the total in inches of the wall, then I divide it by how big the portraits are, and that gives me how many portraits I can use to go side by side with no space. Questions? Okay, let's do example 8 here. Example 8, we have a U.S. customary weight conversion with whole numbers values. Okay. So we have 2 pounds is how many ounces?
16 ounces in a pound, so 16 times 2.
That's right. 16 times 2 is what?
32.
Yes, 32. But you can also use the picket fence. 2 pounds over 1. And we want pounds on the bottom, we want LB. Sometimes it just helps just write it up here. And then you look at the chart. So we'd be using that first one, right? Put a 1 here and a 16 here. Those cancel out, leave me with 32 ounces. And Jessica is right. What if we have a 7? 7T stands for tons, okay? So we need to put tons here and pounds here. So, looks like we're going to be using this one, right? So I'm going to put 2,000 here, and I put a 1 here, right? No, no. Get it right, Miss Jackson, what are you doing? That's wrong. I was like, oh, what? That's an awful lot for 1 pound. That doesn't make sense. Sometimes you have to look at it and say, what? Make sure it makes sense. So that would be a 14 pounds. Phew, about to mess up there. Sometimes you can easily mess up. Questions over that? See, even I almost messed up there. Then I caught myself. Okay. Example 9, we're going to be doing U.S. customary volume conversion with a whole number of values. Example 9. So we have a 16 ounces. And we need to convert it to cups. So I'm going to put ounces here, cups here. So which one of these is going to help me? Which one of these facts over here?
The first one.
The first one, yes. So I'm going to put 8 here and 1 here. Ounces go away. That leaves me with a multiply across. That's a 16 over 8 cups, which reduces to 2 cups. Right? Now we have a 6 gallon over 1 gallon on the bottom, and we're going to convert it to quarts. So which one of these is going to help me? Or also you can think of the story of King Gallon that had the 4 queens. There. So there's 4 quarts in 1 gallon. Yeah, that's right. So cancel out the gals, and that leaves me with 24 quarts. And then, yes, that's a cube. Questions over that? The answer, yes, it did. Okay. Now, did you guys have trouble with any of these? Example 10, you are to choose the metric measurements that make sense. So, example 10. So Susan's family went on a hike that was about 8 what? Is it, I don't know, usually they put like centimeters, meters, or kilometers. Which one do you think? Kilometers, yes, kilometers. Kilometers. Also, I want to let you guys know that I did a 5K, which is 5 kilometers. Well, I thought, I had to look it up, but 5 kilometers does not mean 5 miles. So I actually went 3.4 or something like that in miles. Yeah. Anyways, I was exhausted by the time I ran that. I was about to fall over. Okay, Caitlin saw an elephant at the zoo. The elephant's mass was about 4,000 what? Would it be grams? Kilograms. Kilograms, yes. Because that's, an elephant is big animal. David drank about 200 blank of juice. Did he drink 200 milliliters, liters? Milliliters, yes. Milliliters. Questions over that? Let's go to the next one. So we have a cable that is 40 meters long. Use the facts to find how long it is in decimeters. Example 11. So we're going to go from 40 meters. You can use the picket fence or you can use King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay? So let's just use the picket fence. So 40 meters, and we'll go to decimeters. decimeters. So it looks like this one we will be using. And I'm gonna put my meters here and my decimeters here. I think that's a DM, yes it is. So my M's go away, that leaves me with 40 times 10 is 400 DMs. But like I was telling you, let's say you want to use King Henry died by Trinity Chocolate Milk, okay? King Henry died by, it's supposed to be a B, by drinking chocolate milk, okay? So we're at meters, which is your base, and we're gonna go to decimeters, so you move it over 1. So this right, you move over 1, you 400. You can also do it like that. So whatever works for
You're
you.
just adding the 0 one.
And adding a 0 to it, yes. Yeah. So whatever works for you. But you can only do this if they're all in the metric system. Okay. Otherwise, you have to use big pence. Okay, the next one. We're going to be the metric distance conversion to a decimal values. Okay, so during a huge snowstorm in the White Mountains last year, it snowed 67.5 centimeters in one day. Use the facts to find out how much this is in meters. So there again, we can use this. Example 12. So let's say I want to use King Henry, okay? And we're going to go from 67 centimeters. What is it? What? That's a 5. Centimeters, right? And we're going to go to meters, right? So we're going to use this, centimeters, and we're going to go to meters. So that means I go here and I go 1, 2 places over, so it'd be 0.675. Or I can use my picket fence. Then I look at this and I say, it looks like I'll be using this one, the second one down. And I would put 100 here, and then I would put 1 here, right? Yes. So what is 67.5 divided by 100? And it is the 0.675 meters. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. You can do the King Henry or you can do the picket fence. Number 13, the metric distance conversion between the base, unit M, and DM, okay? So we're going to have we have a gas station that's 36 kilometers away. How far is the gas station in miles? Okay, well, since we're going to go from meters to US, I would suggest using the picket fence. Example 13. So we have 36 over 1. And I need kilometers here and I need miles here. Yeah, because we want to end up with miles. So it says 1 mile
1.6.
is 1.6 kilometers. So we're going to mark out kilometers, and I get 36 divided by 1.6.
22.5.
22.5
Miles.
miles. I'm supposed to put an MI. Because if I put an M, then I'm thinking meters.
Yeah.
So I always put, otherwise you'll get confused like I did. I was like, what? Yeah. 14, clear. Okay, we're gonna be converting the metric and the US customary unit system. So we have a paper that has an area of 546 square centimeters. That is the paper's area in square inches. What is the paper's area in square inches? We're gonna use the conversion of 1 square inch is 6.5 square centimeters. Example 14, I'm gonna use the picket fence again. Okay, we got 546 centimeters squared. Centimeters squared here. And we'll change it to inches squared, right? So it says that one inches squared is to 6.5 centimeters squared, right?
Yes.
So then that cancels out. Okay, and that is 546 divided by 6.5. And I got 84 inches squared. Is that what you guys got?
But you wouldn't square it for the final answer?
No, this would be it.
Okay.
The only time you would square it is if you had to, and you just came up with inches, and then you had the inches times inches, which is inches squared. Yeah. Which you may have that in geometry when we get there, which will be, I guess I'll teach you on Monday. Geometry. Okay. Get this right, okay. Example 15. We're going to be converting between compound units, which is basic. We have a cyclist that rides a bike for a rate of 21 miles per hour. 21 miles per hour, okay. What is the rate in miles per minute? What is the miles will be traveled in 15 minutes? So there's kind of two questions that's being asked here, so. Example 15. So let's answer the first one. This is 21 hours, wait, what?
Miles per hour.
Miles for 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
Am I? What is the rate per minute? So we're gonna get it, so we're gonna leave the miles on top. This time we want,
Hours on top of minutes on bottom?
minutes on the bottom, yes. So, hour here and minute here. So, how many minutes is in 1 hour? 60, right? Well, then that would make my hours go away, and now we're gonna have miles per minute, right? Which would be miles, MI over minute. So what is, it'll be 21 divided by 60, and I get 0.35 miles per minute. Next, it asks, how many miles can the cyclist travel in 15 minutes? So this is part A, obviously. This is part B. So what you do is you take part A, and you would times it to 15. Then you find out how many minutes they traveled. 0.35 times 15, 5.25 miles. Yes, I wrote it in cursive, okay. Questions over that? Not too bad, is it? And then the last one here, last example. This is where, and yes, you had to do temperatures on this. So we had to convert between temperatures in Fahrenheit and Celsius. So we have a starship that's orbiting Lax, a large moon of the planet of, or how do you say that? Bakan? Anyways, the ship's sensor array detects that the temperature on the surface is a negative 13.2 Celsius. So what is the temperature in Fahrenheit? So we need to use the formula. So if we're looking for Fahrenheit, which formula are we going to be using? The first one or second one?
So,
The second one, right. So you just take this and you plug it into C. I'm going to erase this. So we're going to use the second one. Example 16. And it is, we're looking for Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit equals 9/5. C is what, a negative 13.2 plus 32. And you can do that all on your calculator. 9 divided by 5, parentheses, a negative 13.2 plus 32. And like I've said before, your calculator knows the order of operation. Of course, if you had to do it by hand, you would do this first, then you would add the 32. Questions on that?
It's just the opposite if you're looking for second.